Well, welcome back to Carolina Saltwater Living, y'all. Chicken wings, that's what's going on the Pit Boss grill today. And if you have, I got a secret ingredient down here. Don't want you to see it just yet. Let me hide that down here that we're going to use on these wings. And if you've never used it, it's not so secret. But if you've never used it, you should, because it makes chicken wings on a smoker fantastic. First things first, I got to refill my pellets. I keep 2 of these containers, and yes, they are cat litter containers. Some people have commented and said, are you using Tidy Cats chicken litter to smoke stuff? No, we happen to have house cats, and if you do too, these sealable lids work fantastic for your pellets. Why go out and spend 20 or 30 bucks for something to hold pellets in? Just use a 5-gallon bucket with a lid or something like this, like what we're doing. But I'm running, this is what I have ran on this cooker ever since we started. The competition blend that Pit Boss puts out. And let me look here and see. I believe it's oak and hickory. Oak, cherry, maple, and hickory. And honest to goodness, y'all, it tastes, the smoke profile tastes exactly like what I used to burn down in burn barrels and shovel coals all day long. And it just works, y'all, it works. And you can get it in a 40-pound bag, and it's fairly inexpensive to buy it. And these pellets last cooking for quite some time because I'm keeping them here. I can go and buy a 40-pound bag of this, and I think it's less than $20, and it will fill up 2 of these pails, and they hold 35 pounds. And I got just a little bit left over. That was a little bit left over that's been inside of the walk-in pantry inside the house. So I don't use Tidy Cats to smoke. I use actual wood pellets, believe it or not. Now, these chicken wings are some that we processed. We've got tons of chicken, y'all. Tons of chicken still from the old homestead. See right there? Piney Woods Homestead. It's right there on the label. That's what we used to be called. So if you're new to the channel and you go back and watch some of our old videos and you're like, hey, what's up here? I'm confused. Don't be confused. We moved to the coast due to health reasons and other reasons. And now we are enjoying all those fruits of our labor, growing out chickens and processing chickens and pigs and vegetables, all on our own self, doing it by ourselves, self-sufficient, y'all. And we're trying to turn this little old place here at the coast, right here within earshot of the waves crashing, into a smaller little homestead. I'm not sure how much I will grow as far as meat goes, because I don't really care to process any more birds or pigs any longer. But I would like to grow some veggies, and that's why the greenhouse is there and some raised beds are coming. But these are big, nice wings. Let me show you the secret ingredient. Old Bay. Most people think it's just for seafood bowls. Y'all, it is good stuff when it comes to chicken. And I'm going to put it on the pour mode, because I'm poor. Maybe in the wallet, but not in the heart. And I'm not poor, y'all. I'm picking. I've never had a lot of money. Still don't. But the Lord provides. Alright. We're going to go nice and heavy inside of this bowl, where these have been thawing out in the fridge. And give them a toss. It may take that whole little container and pour some of this water out. Didn't lose the wings, so that's good. It's not going to take the whole container, but it's going to take a bit, y'all. And I have to do some cleaning up here on the container when I take it back in the house. A little shout out to my mother-in-law for providing so much of this seafood type seasonings, y'all. I've used everything boiling shrimp, from Old Bay to Louisiana blends to Tony sachets. But you want to spread these wings out and they're still slightly frozen, and just rub it in, y'all. Rub it in. Plenty of red pepper in this, paprika, salt, everything that you're going to need for these wings. And you want to make sure they get coated well. Like that one needs a little more. Spread them apart, and I'm not cutting the tips off, none of that. I process them this way because this is how I like to cook them. Get it all spread in there. See, and there's one I broke. Couldn't sell that one. We used to sell this in our farm store, so I'd break a few every now and then just so we'd have a few extra. I'm picking, y'all, picking. All right, that's going to be sufficient. If you really want to get fun with it, you can toss them. There she is. Let's get them on the smoker. "220 degrees is what I'm smoking these at today. I had to spend about 2 hours cleaning the smoker up and cooking those big picnics the other day. Got everything re-seasoned, burn it back off at 350 for a little while. Now we're doing chicken wings for supper. Get them all laid out here evenly. A broke wing. Broke wing eat just as good as the rest of it. Fantastic looking. Lock them down. Shut everything down nice and tight because we want them to smoke, y'all. And at 220 degrees, this thing's going to put out about as much smoke as you can get out of it. And it's excellent mild smoke, y'all. I grew up eating barbecue pork done over oak and hickory. A little bit of maple, a little bit of pecan once in a while. But we didn't put much hickory in it because it's bitter. It was mostly oak, white oak primarily. Gives you that subtle smoke flavor. And we didn't close things down in pits to where they couldn't breathe. We were cooking on top of the ground, chickens and hogs, y'all, or a cooker made to shovel coals under. So smoke kissed the meat, but it didn't permeate it all the way through like if you're doing beef brisket or something like that. But this Pit Boss is pretty doggone good at replicating that old school way of doing it on top of the ground, on cinder blocks and wire and rebar, or in a cooker that you shovel coals in. It's pretty doggone good at replicating that because the smoke doesn't stay on constant. It's on and off. So if you're wondering about that, if you grew up in southeast North Carolina, South Carolina, probably on down into Florida, and you grew up cooking that way, that old school way, this really does a good job of replicating that flavor profile. We're going to let this go for probably about 2 hours before we ever even look at it. Then we'll come check on it and see how much longer it needs. I'm guessing probably around 4 hours at 220 to get these wings nice and tender. All right, we are like 2 hours and 15 minutes in, and these wings are up to 10. That's what I mean by that's 165. That's what they're at. So I am pulling them off and putting them in the same pan that I used. It's been washed, obviously, with a half stick of butter. Throw them in there. we're going to do something special here. Not that these ain't already special as it is. Nice smoky hue to them. Makes my mouth water. Freedom Ranger chickens, y'all. Right there. And before we do anything else special here, we'll give them a toss in this butter. So it can melt down just a hair. Kind of building a glaze onto the wings. Nice and glazy. And who doesn't like butter? I guess there's somebody out there that doesn't. But I sure do. Alright, now that we've got a little bit of that going on, coming in with honey. I've got about 1/4 cup of honey. And we're going to use the last of it here. It's in this bottle. Straight over the top of the chicken. Don't worry if it makes that sound right there. You're probably going to be making that sound later after eating these. Anyways. Alright, honey glaze. Probably get a little bit more out of that in a minute, but after the honey glaze, whatever aged cayenne pepper sauce you have, Texas Pete, Louisiana brand, what have you. I think this is some Louisiana Supreme, probably from dollar store or something. But it tastes pretty good. We'll go right over it there, and I've diluted it just a hair with a little bit of apple cider vinegar just to make it a little bit thinner. We don't want to go too thin. Ooh, smells good. That's a pepper sauce facial right there. Keep on stirring it around. All right, getting that butter melted. You can see that right there. That's what we're looking for. Now, we're not done yet. Now we're going into this pan. Get them down in here. Because these aren't done cooking. I want them extra tender. That's why I'm doing them this way. Instead of a crispy chicken wing, this is going to be a soft and tender chicken wing. Barbecued chicken. Kind of a Carolina style going on. Just in wing form. Get the rest of that sauce and butter in there. That honey. This is going to give it just enough moisture to finish cooking down. Covered up with foil in the pan. The rest of that honey in there. This is a hot, sweet, spicy wing we got going on here. Cover it up. Fighting with the foil. Now back on the smoker. About 2 more hours, we're going to bump the heat on down to like 210 and let this thing keep on a trucking, y'all. You could finish it in the oven now if you wanted, but I got just enough pellets. I put a few more in here to finish this cookout right here on the Pit Boss. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Check that out, y'all. Homemade tater chips. Better than Lay's right there. Mmm. Put some of that. What's that seasoning called again?
Lawry's.
Lawry's. On there. Now, for these wings. Smoked for 2 hours in about 15 minutes. And you saw me put it in that little bath of butter and sauce. And it's smoking hot. You're dinging. You're dinging again.
It's probably Kyla.
Dang
That
'em.
many times it's Kyla.
Yo, that's excellent. Who would have thunk it? It says right there on the Old Bay bottle to use it on poultry. It's really good, and that's the hot variety. Makes for an excellent hot wing. And that addition of honey gives it some sweetness. Butter for extra richness. Guys, y'all have a good day and a great week. Give this one a try. You will love it.